Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, today we are out with the CFly Faith 2. Now, I reviewed this drone when it first came to market. I reviewed the orange one, and I reviewed that when there was snow on the ground, it was really cold, and a dull day. And at that time, the app for this here drone was still in its infancy. It didn't have a lot of features. There was no camera features, anything. And I kind of complained about that in my video. So CFly says, you know what, Steve, how about we send you another one? The time has gone by, the app has improved, the drone has improved. We'll send you a blue one, and how about you take it out for a flight? So I said, sure, why not? I gotta be fair, so I'm gonna take it out for a flight today. So if you're not familiar with the CFly Faith 2 drone, it is a 4K 30 frames per second camera drone that can take really good photos, video. It has ultrasonic sensors on the bottom. It's got an optical flow system. You can put a micro SD card in it, a really high quality micro SD card if you want, because it will take it. The features that make this great compared to other drones is it has a 35-minute flight time. It has a Sony sensor, Umbrella processor, so the colors look phenomenal when the app is working and everything looks good. I did film in my basement with this model, and I was super surprised at how good the image quality looked in low light. So I think even this camera could be used in low light. And if I haven't mentioned already, it has a 3 kilometer, 3,000 meter range for flight distance. All right, so let's go fly it. All right, so as I unfold the arms here, let me just say that I should be up and flying in no time, because this drone here is a semi-pro drone. In other words, I do not have to do a gyro and compass calibration. I've taken it out of the box and it should just work. And I should never have to do one unless the app tells me to do one. Much different than those budget, low-cost, entry-level drones that I show. So let's power everything on. So we have our controller here. Put the antennas up because the antennas actually work on this controller. Pull out the arms, make sure my little switch is on GPS because I want the GPS to work on here. Hit the power button, hold it down, green lights go on. As long as this little light here, you probably can't see it with the GoPro, but as long as that light is green, that means GPS is working. If it's red, GPS is off. On the drone, I've taken the gimbal guard off and I just have to power it on. It'll make a beautiful little tune. There we go. And that's pretty much it. It's going to grab satellites and everything else, so I'm just going to let it sit there for a second, and then I'll take out my cell phone. Next thing you have to do is take your cell phone out and connect to the Wi-Fi of the controller. You're going to see two options on your cell phone when you're connecting to Wi-Fi. One's going to be for the controller, it's called ground, and the other one is the drone. Connect to the controller, because then your phone talks to the controller and your controller talks to the drone, and that's how you get that long range. The app you're going to use is the CFly 2 app, so I'll tap on that, and there we go. We're connecting and we should be in it soon. I'll click on start flying and I should see what my camera sees. The only thing I want to show you that's new in this app compared to when I reviewed it before is the camera settings. There were no camera settings the last time I reviewed this, so let me tap on them. They are professional settings, so you see I'm in 4K 30 frames per second. The exposure was one of the things I complained about. They have an exposure now, so if it's a dull day you can bump up the exposure, or if it's winter time, bump up the exposure. White balance is perfect. On the video, you can even put the date and time that you were flying and have it show up on the video so that it's recorded for infamy. Same as for photos, you can do that. And you can see right there, there's the resolution of my photos. I put it at the max resolution. Your field of view is basically just a zoom control. So on here, the field of view naturally is wide, and as you change the field of view to medium or narrow, it's like zooming in. That's all it is. And the great thing is they added a scene mode, which is normal, and they added one for night, as well as a few other things. All right, let's go fly this. I've done no compass calibration, no gyro calibration. On your controller, you have an up and down arrow over on the left. I never use it. I just pull the joysticks down and out. I think that starts up the prop, so let's see. Well, that looks pretty good. I would call that hovering exactly perfectly. That's straight out of the box. No GPS calibration, no compass calibration, nothing. Everything is A-OK. All right, so this is the record function on the drone, 4K 30 with the Sony sensor. How does that look? Color should look good. And let's just take the drone around so that we see how it looks as it goes by me. Flies nice. There we Go. All right, so this is a great camera test for the drone because my legs are extremely white and my t-shirt is black. So you should see an awesome contrast between the two. I can't tan, I don't know, it's something genetic. Something weird has gone wrong. Next thing I want to show you is how smooth the camera gimbal is. So as I walk closer, I'm going to bring the camera down to match me. There we go. You see it's pretty smooth and it makes no beeps, which is nice. I hate those drones that always make the beeps because then it always makes it sound like I'm doing something incorrect with all the beeping. I'm gonna take it up so I can bring it down 90 degrees. There we go, and let's bring it down a full 90 degrees. So there we go, I'm directly under the drone. There we are, and bring it back forward. So far, the only thing I find that looks a little weird on the app is look above my head right here. What does that say? Ready to take off, position mode. Well, I'm already flying, and the GPS works, everything else, so I don't know why it says ready to take off. Let's see if it works when we try the special features. Hit the special features, let's go follow me, the first one. And it says the aircraft will follow the mobile device for flight. All right, next step. Focus on the subject and click start. So I just have to focus on me. There we go. Put myself right here, focus on target. This seems, there we go, click start. And let's see what happens. Is it going to record automatically? It's going over there. It's going up. It likes the height up there. So at the top of my screen right now, it says track mode is running, and you can see it's like way up on top of me. I don't think it's supposed to track me that close. It's almost like I got to zoom on. It wants to focus on the top of my head. It's going around here. I'm just doing a circle here. There's something here. What is this? Is this my track distance? Ah, there we go. I didn't see that. There's a slider on the left of the screen to go up higher. There we go. I wish there was one that go back farther. So it tracks all right, but I want to get it so it tracks. This is on top of me. On top of me tracking. That is very straight. Here, I'll just change directions. It's going to keep me in the image. I've done a 180. It's going to catch up. Let me see if I can change that so it tracks me from behind. So what I've done is I put the drone far, far out there, and I'm going to hit the tracking again. I'll go track, follow me. Oh, it looks like it's on me. Follow me, the aircraft will follow. Next step, put me in the center of the image. Let's see, it's supposed to be over here in that blue square. I'm going to go forward, focus on target, then click start. There we go, I am the target, click start. So above my head up here, it says track mode is running, record is running. So now, I guess that was my well, I don't know, maybe that was my problem. You have to set the distance away and the distance above. So is it working? Yeah, okay. Arms are out. Look at, you can see controllers over there. I'm not touching anything. Coming up to the grass. It appears to be tracking me. So that's how it works. It's very different than I recall. They've changed the app. That's not how it worked in the past. So there we go. So if I walk alongside the grass, yeah, so there it is. It's up there. It works parallel. And if I come back towards it, let's see, along the path, yeah, it flies backwards. Okay. So the tracking works, the app has changed. That's what confused me. So all good, A+ for tracking. You just have to know how to use it. It's different than what I'm used to on most drones. All right, so let's go back to where I started and we'll try another one. Good thing with this type of tracking is you should be able to walk under trees and stuff and it probably still follows you because it's really following the phone and a little bit of what it sees in the video. All right, so let's turn tracking off. Okay, the drone is on top of me and I'm going to try the orbit. I'll see if it works the same way as the old orbit. So here we go. So look at my screen. I'm going to turn off the record. So the camera's not recording, saving video, and I'm going to go to the orbit, which should be normal orbit, waypoints, rocket, online, helix, boomerang, circle. So I want to do a circle. Okay, this is different than I recall as well. Before I had to do a radius and everything else. So anyways, next step, there I am right there. Focus on the target, which is, it says walk this way. See that little blue thing? There we go. I am the target. There we go. So try to keep this really simple. There we go. So I'm inside and hit start. And I'm going to turn on record so you see what it's doing. There we go. So I am the target, it is circling me. So they've made it much simpler. You no longer have to put the drone on top of you, fly the drone backwards to make a radius. It's all automatic. You just put the target on you. You pick the radius before you start and the height, and there we go. Here, they don't call it orbit, they call it fly around mode. So this is called fly around mode. All right, and it says saving video. It automatically recorded the video too, so I didn't do that. It did the video itself. So these are like quick shots. So looking at what else it has in quick shots, we have rocket mode, droney, helix, boomerang. You've seen those in other drones, so I won't bother. And you see on my operate, it's got shooting method, automatic or manual. All right, so let's try waypoints. I've never tried waypoints on here. Waypoints. Click the start mark on the screen and this aircraft will automatically fly to it. Okay, so this is the fly to thing. You can see at the bottom right, there's a start. It's zoomed out at my map feature, so I'm in the park, so I got to zoom in to me. It just shows me a finger up top to touch, so I'm going to put a waypoint here. So when I touch the screen, I get this error message, tips, beyond the prescribed scope, please replan. So I don't know what my scope is. Am I too far zoomed out? It's beyond. Usually beyond means you're outside the area of where you can do a waypoint. So I have no idea. All right, hop out of that. Now there is a zoom feature on this drone, and I'm just going to walk back here and try the zoom feature. All right, so on the right of my screen, if it's recording, is a little slider. It says 00X, so I'm going to crank it. Here we go. And I should be zooming in, zooming in, zooming in. I'm at, I can go up to, what's the show? 4 times zoom. There's my white legs. And let's bring the camera up. So there's 4 times zoom. I will tell you below the screen if that zoom records on the micro SD card or only on your phone. A lot of times zooms on cameras only record on the phone and not the micro SD card, but if it records on the micro SD card, that's pretty darn good because it is a Sony sensor. So the image for that type of zoom, it should look pretty good. And if I zoom out just to show you what that looked like, I'm gonna go all the way out. There we go. So that was a zoom. Hopefully that looked pretty cool. All right, the next thing to show you would be some of the flight footage. So I'm going to take some photos and fly it around and get some footage. So I guess the first thing I'll do is I'm going to stop the video. There we go. I'm going to take a photo. And I'm going to get closer. There we go with my white skin. I'll take another photo. And now I'm going to take it away up and fly it around. There's soccer games going on, kids in the park, and maybe some people flying RC planes over there, and just take some videos. So here we go, going up. Okay, the drone is far out there. I'm gonna hit the return to home and let's see if it lands over on the landing pad. Pressing return to home now. So I'll tell you what I see on the screen. The distance is getting closer. It's at 39.7 meters. That hasn't changed. The distance is getting closer and closer. It flies very fast. It's a very fast flying drone. There it is right there. I don't know, you can see it. It came back super fast. There we go. It comes back in like a sport mode. It has a sport mode on it too, to fly really fast. Okay, that sun's blinding me, so I'm gonna go over here. Okay, I'm gonna put the gimbal looking down so you can see where it's coming down. There we go. It's sort of got the, let's stand this way out of the sun. There it is right there. There it is. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Look at this. It's coming down. It's looking down at the ground. Whoa, it hit my phone case over here, right there. But all in all, look at that. It took off from here and it landed here. That's really good. That's definitely in the pro range. So the next thing, let me show you what comes in the box when you buy this drone, and then come back to me and I'll give you my final thoughts. Check it out. Here we have the box your drone comes in. Opening the box, we pull out a shoulder bag. Opening the shoulder bag, we see our drone. The drone has a nice solid construction with foldable arms, foldable props, and brushless motors. For sensors on the bottom, the drone has 2 ultrasonic and 1 optical flow sensor. The included battery is a 3-cell LiPo battery that will give you 35 minutes of flight time. To charge the battery, a USB charging system is included. A 4K camera with a Sony sensor is included on the front, attached to a 3-axis gimbal. To capture high-resolution photos or video, you will need to insert a micro SD card. One is not included. Additional items include spare props. Total weight of this drone is 524 grams. The included remote has arms that fold out. When they're folded outward, you can stretch them further and insert your cell phone. This is a rechargeable remote. There's a USB plug in the front for charging purposes. Finally, both a safety manual and a user manual are included. All right, it's super hot out here. We're having a heat wave, so let me go through the final thoughts really quick. This drone is really good. Really good for somebody who wants to buy their first camera drone, because it's not a budget drone and it's not a high-end DJI drone. It's in the middle. So you get a lot for your money in this here drone. The Follow Me works as soon as you figure it out. The app confused me because I was expecting it to be like the old app, but as soon as I figured that out, it worked. Same as the Orbit. I was expecting it like the old app. You know, you set the radius and everything else. As soon as I figured it out, it worked. The only thing I couldn't figure out with my little goldfish brain was the waypoints. Somebody out there knows what I was doing wrong and will post a comment below, but there's obviously a way to make it work and I just didn't know how. And I didn't have the time because it's too hot out here. Camera on here is top quality. It's a Sony sensor. It's pretty much the same as what's in the Autel Evo and a lot of other drones, so you should get really good colors. Everything should look great. When I tried this in my house in low light, you know, just little screw-in light bulbs, the image came out amazing for photos and video. I was super surprised. You can't get that on budget drones. You can only get it on the higher end drones to make it look really good in low light. So the sensor on here is A-OK. Same is true for the 3-axis gimbal. I was bouncing it around in the air, going fast, stop, start, spin it, and the gimbal, the horizon always stayed level. I didn't have any of that horizon tilt, you know, you get on some drones, all of a sudden your horizon goes wonky. Didn't see it on this drone. The return to home was really good too. Landed just like maybe a foot off the landing pad, so that's A-OK for a drone. That means it's almost DJI quality. And finally, the last thing is it has a speed control in here. I didn't show you the sport speed. I forgot all about it, but it went into sport mode on the way home. It flies very fast and it's designed for flying in the wind. That's why it flies so fast. So if, say it was a super windy day today, you could fly this drone. So if you live someplace in the world where you have high winds blowing off the shores or something like that, this would be a good drone for it because it has a very fast sport mode and it has a 3-axis gimbal to keep the horizon level, so it doesn't matter if it's flopping around and doing all this. Everything should look A-OK and you should be able to fly it into the wind, no problem, and back and sideways with the wind. So now that I'm turning into a ball of sweat and my legs are still white, they are not tanning, I have no idea. I am going to put links below to where you can find this. There's several sites that this drone is available on, so check all the sites and see if this is a drone for you. It's been out for a little while, so the price is probably a little bit better now, especially with competition coming up from other drones like VINCI and Hubsan and DJI. So this is probably a good drone to compare to all of those. Similar features, maybe even more features than some of those drones. So yeah, just compare everything and check it out and see if this is for you. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions on this drone, post them below and I will get back to you. This drone does come in 4 colors. The last one I reviewed was orange, very bright orange, which is really good for flying in it. It's got white, it's got black, and it has blue like the one I have here. All right, guys, catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye.